Thanks for squeezing us into your jam-packed schedule. I'm Tim Sams, AVP of Learning and Development here at Rock Title. And as I mentioned earlier, we'd love to see your smiling faces. So if you're in a place where you can, go ahead and turn on those cameras. We certainly would love that. It helps us feel more connected and makes the session even more engaging. Also, we're recording today's session, and if you want to warm up those fingers, now's a good time, my friends. Why, you ask? Because our guest speaker will be using the chat box pretty heavily. Today, we are talking about real estate content that builds an audience on YouTube. And, quite honestly, I couldn't be more excited to introduce today's guest speaker, Jeff Zimpfer, national trainer, keynote speaker, and host of one of Housing Wire's top-ranked podcasts. Sir Jeff, take it away. The mic is yours.
And the mic is right here, front center. Thank you very much, Tim.
Love it.
Always good to see you. What's up, agents? How we doing? Middle of August. What's going on? Arizona, Nevada. Where are you at? Put it in the chat. As Tim said, this is how we're going to use it. But we can also unmute mics when we get into the participation section, which has already officially begun, by the way. I want to get a sense of where you guys are at. My brother just sold his house in Surprise, Arizona. Who's in that area? What's the market in Arizona? Scottsdale. What's up, Matthew? The market's flat. Yeah, that's what he said. His house was on the market for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Northwest, Lori, what's up? Hey, you're in my neck of the woods. I'm in Summerlin, Nevada here. Okay, so let's get into it. You guys didn't hear, come here to hear me just jaw on. Who's got a YouTube channel? Put a Y or an N in the chat. Who's got a YouTube channel? Matthew does. I want to get a sense of what's the experience level with YouTube? What made you show up here today? What would make this a win for you? Like one key takeaway, YouTube specifically, your biggest frustration, challenge, opportunity, thing you've always wanted to know about succeeding on YouTube as a real estate agent. So let's see here. We've got Matthew who does, Annette whose boss does, who your boss should be here, Annette. So take copious notes. Stacy does. Expand beyond 13 subs. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Other than that, how many? Okay, here's the other rest of the audience looking for ways to generate more leads. Okay. So it's like, what is your biggest challenge with YouTube? For those that are on YouTube, what's your biggest challenge? Like you said, subs. And then for those who, I said leads specifically, and those who don't have a YouTube channel yet, why not? Are you seriously considering it? Are you just kicking the tires? You had lunch and you got time to kill. Like, why did you show up today? What do you want to get out of this? I want to make sure it's a win for you. So Nick started asking ChatGPT the best handle to have on YouTube. And yeah, you can go down a rabbit hole there. Lori's considering it seriously, not sure what to post. Consistency. Okay, fair enough. Love it. All right, then let me ask this. What is your current, if it's not YouTube, what is your current primary social or digital channel? And I say social because you could argue, is YouTube really a social channel versus a search engine? Not sure how to do all the graphics. So thumbnails, you mean, Julia, I assume? Okay. Stacy, Facebook and Instagram is your primary channel. Facebook, Matthew, Facebook. Okay, so pretty new, so only Facebook. Reels, Stacy. All right, so that gives me a sense of this. And by the way, just so you know, the content I'm about to present to you, it isn't my expertise. I am not an expert on YouTube. What? Yeah, I am actually on the YouTube journey, learning YouTube and vested in it in a pretty significant way in terms of content strategy, batch producing content, etc. But what I am going to share with you in a moment is content from a YouTube expert. His name is Andrew Bayon, B-A-Y-O-N. You can Google him, look him up, subscribe to his newsletter. Just make a note for the future. You can pull him up on YouTube as well. Andrew, you may not know the name, but in a moment, I'm going to share with you some use cases, case studies from agents that he works with. He works behind the scenes with, I think, 10 of the top 30 real estate YouTube channels that are out there. So what he does is he works with real estate agents to help them turn YouTube into a lead generation machine. So I just wanted to make that disclaimer in that, the content you're going to get isn't from me per se. It is from Andrew and the consulting that I did with him to present this to you. So hopefully you feel a little bit more confident about what's about to be presented. At the same time, I'll also say to you, the reason why, from my own experience and from what Andrew and others that I've interviewed, that the consideration, this is why I asked you what your primary social channel is right now. The consideration with doing YouTube is it is unlike any of the other social platforms. It is a serious commitment if you want to get results from it. If you just want to throw stuff up there and test it out, just kind of like, you know what I mean? And that's cool, by the way. There's no judgment here. Because if there's anything I've learned, it is to really move the needle on any platform, you really need to focus on it a lot. And ultimately, you may have heard, choose a primary platform, right? And so that's what I want to leave you with as we get into today's content, because I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you that YouTube is, quote, easy. How many of you have already realized that none of the platforms are easy, right? Yeah, everything's hard. And I think it's a matter of like choosing your heart, right? However, I think maybe you're here because you see YouTube has some distinct advantages over other channels, which it does, especially if you're in this for the long game. And we'll probably touch on a few of those. But now I'm sharing my slides. Enough dramatic lead up. Let me get into the content. And I'm going to pause and we're going to have some discussion on some of the sections that we get into here. Waiting for this to load on my screen. Okay, so this is kind of the premise, right? Is the YouTube content secrets that top agents use to convert viewers into ready to buy clients. That's the premise. I'm going to skip a few slides that aren't relevant for us here today. And this one as well. So here's the agenda. We're going to talk about the advantage to YouTube, the 3 pillars of success to building a strong, powerful presence in real estate on YouTube. We're going to definitely spend some time going through some actual real estate agent case studies. I think this will be the huge takeaway for you. How to become your community's digital mayor, and then leave you with the framework for a 90-day implementation plan. And let me make it clear, by the way, obviously this is not one and done. Good luck. You're going to go crush it on YouTube from here today. This is a few bricks in your foundation of learning, of insights, and hopefully direction for you. Okay. So let's take a brief look at the YouTube advantage. Number one, it has 238 million monthly users on on YouTube versus Instagram 143. Okay. On average, they're spending 77 minutes per day versus half an hour on Instagram. The users, almost half of them, almost 50%, are above the age of 35. So you want to think about this in terms of like ROI, right? There are only, now get this, is there any way, by the way, to mute those dings or anything? The doorbells? Mr. Sams, if not, that's okay.
I'll work on it, but hey, I just want to make sure that everybody can see the slides. Nicholas said he does not see the slides. Is everybody seeing the slides?
Are you seeing them, Tim?
I'm seeing them, yes.
So Nicholas, do you have 2 monitors? You have 1 monitor. Who else is not seeing the slides? Anybody?
I'm on an iPad.
Oh, okay. iPad has its own challenges with screen sharing on Zoom. Unfortunately, I can't control that. So if you can get on a monitor, that'd be great. Okay, so here's the key thing I wanted to share. There's only about 15,000 total real estate channels versus over 500,000 Instagram real estate accounts. Less noise. And YouTube is expected to grow in the next 5 years by an additional 1 billion users. Now, obviously, that's worldwide, right? But the point being is, you're not late to the game. There's still tons of opportunity on YouTube. It's not saturated. I don't care if another agent in your town is doing it. There's still plenty of room to grow. Okay? All right. The other thing to consider is that there's a shift in viewing habits. YouTube is now in the living room. More people are watching YouTube on their TV than on their mobile phone or their desktop. What's the point of that? Right here, prime real estate content, neighborhood tours, property showcases, marketing insights. Because they're sitting in front of their TV and people like to browse, prime for real estate. So this is becoming more and more of the new consumer viewing habits that people are shifting, right? To over here, you see audiences are choosing YouTube over traditional TV for long form on demand content. More and more people are watching television on YouTube, YouTube Premium, YouTube streaming, right? They just struck a deal with the NFL. And so there's more attention on YouTube than ever before. So once again, your timing is good. Now, let's get a little bit geeky here for a second. This is the YouTube advantage. Number one, algorithms. Unlike entertainment platforms, right, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube's algorithm connects users actively researching purchases, making it ideal for real estate. I want to pause there for a second. What's the largest currently, anyways, this is changing with AI, but what currently is the quote unquote largest search engine on the internet? It's Google, right? Yeah. What's number two? YouTube. You guys may have heard this before. And of course, who owns YouTube? Google, right? So YouTube is first and foremost a search engine. Tim, can we possibly mute everybody? There's a lot of background noise. YouTube is a search engine, okay, first and foremost. So there we go. I muted myself. Next, active buyer connection. YouTube prioritizes content, obviously, for people looking to about real estate, looking to buy, research videos, move to the area, etc. Next, this thing called the 7-11-4 rule. That's from Google. And what it says is this is kind of this rule from Google that purchase journeys require 7 hours of content, 11 touch points in 4 locations. Now that sounds like a lot. And by the way, the way the consumer works today, you guys may know this, is it's like a hummingbird. I was out there this morning and I saw a hummingbird going around all the different flowers and plants in my yard, and they're going from different one to different one, right? They don't just stay on one. How many of you do that today before you make a purchase? You're going to go look up reviews, Google. You may go to Amazon. You may go to somewhere else. You're going to go to 5 or 6 different places.
What's it say?
We got to mute all again, Tim. So the point being is this is YouTube has both the long form and the short form. And this is where you're going to get the longest duration, right, of time on brand, if you will. And then lastly, over here, Google search ranking, YouTube videos consistently rank higher in Google. Why? Because Google owns YouTube. Right. And if you notice, when you search things, when there's videos, they're oftentimes serving up videos on that. So those are some of your advantages compared to other platforms. Okay. Let's go the right direction here, Jeff. Okay. Now let's talk about the YouTube algorithm, the big secret. The YouTube, everybody says it's the algorithm. It's the algorithm. I'm going to break this down in the simplest way you've ever seen before when it comes to an algorithm. Okay. There's 3 parts. Number 1, click. Will somebody click on your video? Number 2, will somebody watch it? Number 3, will they engage? Engage means how long will they watch it? Do they have likes, comments, and shares? There you go. There's your master class in the YouTube algorithm, okay? Everything you ever create should be focused on those 3 things, and we're going to unpack that. All right, now's where it gets fun. There's 2 main content types on YouTube. There's what we call entertainment, Mr. Beast type style of content, and then there's intent. Once again, search. That is how people are getting on YouTube, search. There's also suggested videos and things like that, but the primary mechanism is search, right? How many people here go into YouTube and you type in something? You look something up. That's what your potential clients are doing too. They're typing in terms. We'll look at some of those in a moment, but just keep that in mind. Entertainment and search-based, or entertainment and intent types of content. Okay, with that said, what are the 3 pillars of succeeding on YouTube? They are, number 1, building your audience. Focus on content formats that consistently attract high views. Number 2, grow your list. What does this mean? It means convert viewers into leads by building your email pipeline. This means pulling them off YouTube. This means getting them to subscribe to your newsletter, adding them to your email list, a lead magnet, an offer, a CMA, your website opt-in, or something like that, which we'll talk about more. And ultimately, step 3 is you move people forward in the process. Have conversations, turn those leads into sales through engagement. And one of the ways to do that, of course, on YouTube is comments. If you're getting comments, then you want to be able to comment back for sure. YouTube has a lot of cool new features as well, even a community feature, which allows you to build a community on YouTube, actually. So they're continuing to evolve. All right, time for a break. Let's take a pop quiz. Everybody pay attention. Get ready to use your chat. I want you to enter what is you feel is the correct answer in the chat. What percentage of the U.S. population moves every year? Is it number 1, 1 to 5%. Number 2, 8 to 12%. Number 3, 15 to 20%. Go ahead and enter your answers now. And let's play that Jeopardy theme. Let's take a look at
I
some
was
of the
going to
answers.
chime in to do that, Jeff, but you do it so much better.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead.
We could do harmony next time.
Let's do that. Let's work on it.
Okay, so let's see. What are the answers? We're seeing Matthew says number 2. Julia says number 3. Ken, number 3. Number 2, Stacy. Okay. Well, this is from the U.S. Census Bureau, and the answer is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry with the slides here today. It is number 1. Ooh, yeah. Not that many, right? So, by the way, this is higher post-COVID, but it's settled down since then. Remember, everybody wanted to move during COVID and all that kind of stuff. They were, realized that they were in too small of a place and all that stuff. Well, this has changed. Now, what's the point of this? My point is this: is knowing that there's X amount, whatever finite percentage of people who move every whatever that figure was, X amount of years. Question is for you as a content creator: what do they care about? Knowing that they're not going to move every single month, every single year, and you're building this audience, what do they care about overall when they are, right, considering a move? And of course, even when they're not, they care about these things. Number 1, where to live and what it's like to live there. Number 2, what's new and coming soon. Number 3, what's there to do. Number 4, how much does it cost? And what's the local market situation? Okay. So I want you to think of your audience layers on YouTube as in 3 distinct categories: broad, narrow, and niche. Let's unpack this. Broad is essentially almost anyone. This at the top of the funnel right here is awareness level content to attract a wide audience. And I'll show you examples in a minute. But what this looks like is local attractions and events, community spotlights, day in the life videos. Okay. You'll get a copy of the slides as well, everybody, so you can reference these after today's class. Compliments of Rock Title, ladies and gentlemen. We want to make sure we thank Rock Title for putting this on and bringing you these resources. Okay, next, number 2. So we go broad, we go narrow, informational. So these are problem solution oriented, right? For people with specific needs, such as neighborhood deep dives, market trend analysis, and moving to certain cities. And then lastly, niche specific, highly targeted. These are people bottom of the funnel. That's why they're here in red at number 3. They've gone through the process of consuming your content, learning a bit more, engaging with your content. And now they're at the stage in their journey where they're ready for very specific stuff like property tours, buyer seller guides, and then what's it like to work with you. Let's take this a step deeper. Look at actually what does this look like from a real estate agent following this process. Case study number 1, Brett Davis out of North Carolina. She went from 0 to closing 2 closed transactions in 90 days. Okay. Her first 90-day strategy was this: local expertise content framework. Week 1 through 4, she did neighborhood spotlights. 5 through 8, she started putting out first-time buyer education, and weeks 9 through 12, local market insights. So her initial results with just 500 subs, she closed 2 deals and she put 5 people in her pipeline. Now, would you like to see what her content actually looked like on YouTube? I bet you would. Okay. So remember, I'm going to go back to my content categories at the very top of the funnel. Broad, anybody. I want you to look at the thumbnail and the title. Thumbnail, Raleigh's next big things. Everything new or coming soon to Raleigh. Moving here, moving to Raleigh Research Triangle 2025. Everything you must know. Triangle's rich. Where do Raleigh's Research Triangle ultra wealthy live? Worth it? I've lived in Raleigh for 10 years, my honest review. Now, you could argue, oh, this is a little bit narrow than wide or whatever. I don't want to split hairs, but the point being is this content has a general wide appeal. People are always curious about what's happening. What's the next big thing? Here in Vegas, right? We got, well, when Allegiant Stadium opened, and now we got the Oakland A's coming, and now there was this movie studio that was going to be produced over here in Summerlin. Like, all those are big happenings. Okay. Broad content. The Strip's dead. What's going on? No one's coming to Vegas. You know what I mean? All those different things. Making sense so far? Is this tracking everybody? Okay. Let's now go to the next type of content. Sorry. There we go. Now we're going from broad to narrow. This now is more specifically informational about the area. Look at this, the thumbnail. Best new homes. Oh, okay, Raleigh's best new construction neighborhoods. Then Raleigh's top neighborhoods for healthy lifestyles, and then where to move. Relocating for tech, AI, live here. Now, are you seeing how this is going from a little bit wide to a little bit more narrow? Who would be consuming these videos? People who are interested in new construction neighborhoods or healthy neighborhoods, or right, where specifically to move. And then let's take it to one last, the bottom of the funnel, niche. Best and worst home builders in one of Raleigh's best neighborhoods, North Hills. That's very specific. Move in ready. Here's what 500K gets you, essentially, is what that's saying, right? And those, by the way, are great examples of videos at the bottom of the funnel. What 500K gets you in your market, or whatever the number is, right? 6, 8, a million, 250, whatever it is. I'm going to take a pause here. Is everybody tracking so far with this content funnel strategy? Okay, is this like making it real for you now to be able to take these ideas? Okay, good. Because I did spend a good amount of time with Andrew putting this together for you. I wanted it to make sense. So that was case study number 1. Here's number 2, Kyle Talbot, building a hyperlocal media empire, officially known as the hype man of KC. Okay, so Kyle's a little bit more advanced than our previous case study. 10,000 subs. In 2024, he closed $7.5 million from YouTube. How many of you would like to close half of that from YouTube? In 2025, he's already, as of July 30th, closed 15 million. By the way, that's free. No paid ads, no Zillow split, sweat equity. That's his cost. He's averaging 1 lead a day, contacting him, saying, hey, I'd like to talk to you more about buying. And you'll see in a minute his content categories. You'll see a pattern. Local development, sports, neighborhoods, again, top of funnel stuff. This is how he breaks down his content ratios: 40% community, 20% things to do, local developments, and then 20% real estate market updates. Notice how real estate market updates is not the 40 or 60%, right? Keep that in mind as we keep going. Okay, here's his audience layers. Okay, broad. Once again, look at this. Everything new or coming soon to KC. Wide appeal. And I can't remember, but I think that might have been a Buc-ee's, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Anyway, very attention-grabbing thumbnail. And we're going to unpack thumbnails here as well. Next, big change is coming to downtown. That's a little bit more narrow. That's now downtown, not all of Kansas City, right? Now we're just downtown. And then if you're relocating to KC, watch this. Notice the thumbnail. Avoid this. Like, who wouldn't want to know, if I'm thinking about relocating to KC, what area should I avoid? Like, tell me more. Once again, I want you to remember that funnel image I put up on the slide. Broad, narrow, niche. It's science and art when it comes to this YouTube thing, and other content as well, but it's a specific strategy. Okay. Now, this is a further breakdown of his broad audience content. So this is one of his videos, Kansas City's hottest new developments. 7 months ago, 71,000 views, 82x performance ratio. What this means, this red 82x, is that's how that video performs compared to his average video performance, meaning views. Okay. Everything new coming to Kansas City. We showed you that thumbnail, 100x performance. Massive changes coming to KC. The Country Club Plaza, 20x performance. Your largest view count is going to be in the broad section of the wide appeal. You're not going to get tens of thousands of views on, right, the new golf club community that just opened in Summerlin, because that's very narrow and niche for only a certain percentage of people who are interested in that. Are we tracking so far? Now, there's a lot of data on here. You guys can review this when you get the slides from Tim from Rock Title after today's session, so you can go a little bit deeper. This, by the way, is kind of a cheat sheet for you. Okay? You've got these 3 different categories: broad, narrow, niche. And I've broken this down for you so you can just swipe these titles and recreate them for yourself. And I have an even bigger surprise coming up in a moment, where we've got a cool tool that will help you do this in a more streamlined way. But I just wanted to give you this as a study sheet, as kind of a swipe file. Is that cool? Okay. And by the way, let me just take a pause. Has this been insightful so far? Because I don't know what else you see for YouTube content and real estate agents. Are we hitting? What are we getting here? A first base, a double, triple? What are we getting? Somebody let me know in the chat. Tim, let me know what they say. I cannot go on.
Well, I love it so far.
All right.
Great content.
Case study number 3. You like to know what people are doing for subject and videos. By the way, that's the best way to learn, is to follow what other people are doing that's getting results and then do it for you. Change it for yourself, your own market, your own style. But there's no reason to try and reinvent the wheel and come up with videos from scratch on YouTube. You don't need to do that. The examples are already there, and we're giving you 3 or 4 people to follow on YouTube right now and swipe what they're doing for your own local market. It's called Steal Like an Artist. Okay, here's Chris Colgan, Northern Virginia living, 33,000 subs. His average price point is $1 million. He's averaging 2 leads a day. Why is this relevant? Because I want to make it clear to you that even a higher price point, those people are still on YouTube. Oh, well, $1 million home buyers aren't on YouTube. Well, $1 million ain't what it used to be in real estate anymore, is it? Okay. $1 million isn't an affluent buyer per se, depending on where you're living. But I also want you to know that if you are in a higher price point, don't be reluctant to be on YouTube, because there's 1 billion people on YouTube, right? Rich, poor, all the above. All right, let's break down his example of audience layers as well. Once again, broad. Now, are you seeing a pattern? Next big things. How many videos have next big things in it that I've showed you already? Almost every single one, some version of it. Everything new or coming soon. We've seen that used 3 times now. So wherever you're at in Arizona, Vegas, everything new or coming soon to Las Vegas, Phoenix, whatever. Northern Virginia's best new homes, right? This could be counties, Maricopa, this could be Clark, this could be Henderson versus Summerlin, you know, in your other cities that you've got Scottsdale. What else you got? You got, Queen Creek, you got on the west side, you got Surprise, right? Peoria, wherever you're operating, wherever your geo farm is, think about using that. And then niche, Brambleton, that is a suburb, very specific. Once again, are you seeing a pattern? Like, you would be busy enough right now just getting clear on you for the next 3 months, having your broad, narrow niche content strategy set and ready to go. Okay, here's a bonus case study. Amanda, living in Livermore, 252 subs, only 3 months in, hyper local strategy. She gets a $1.4 million buyer who found her on YouTube because he was searching for homes to buy in Livermore. And by the way, look at this screenshot of her YouTube channel. Once again, do you see a pattern? Livermore's future, right? Livermore's hidden gem, best areas. And again, these are scattered in no specific organization right now in terms of broad, narrow niche. But I'm going to show you a little secret here. I'm going to stop share for a second. And I'm going to get over to YouTube right now. And we're going to take a look at we're going to do a little bit of a live walkthrough here on the channel. Okay. Back to screen share. Give me a sense, by the way, for those who do have a YouTube channel, what are your subs at? How many subscribers do you have roughly? And while you're doing that, I do want to say as well, yes, you want to build subscribers and things like that, but the success of your content is not based on your subscribers. YouTube is now favoring small channels. And it's really about your content and your content being ideally suited for the right viewer. They are wanting to find the right content, for the viewer who's typing in the search terms. So Stacey, you got 4 to 5. Congratulations. What about, was it Matt or somebody said he wanted to optimize his subs? 340. Ken. All right. 340. Good job. Okay, cool. By the way, was that encouraging to see 2 examples with less than 500 subs and they're getting engagement and deals? Am I promising that's going to be you? No, I'm just showing you that it is possible. Okay, so let's break this down for a little bit. So here I am, I'm on YouTube, and I've got a couple of different software pieces that I use You guys might want to write this down. I'm seeing these analytics here. And so that's a tool called vidIQ. That's VIDIQ. Write that down for later. vidIQ is a third-party tool. I think I pay 10 or 20 bucks a month, and there is a free version of it as well. You want to think about getting that and installing it essentially on your channel. It's kind of like a Google Chrome extension installation, but it's an overlay on your YouTube account that allows you to not only look at your analytics, but other people's, your competitors and whoever else, to see how their videos are performing. And so I'm going to do a brief walkthrough of this gal here, and that we showed as one of our earlier case studies. So this is the page, the home page, right? I can come here, but here's the cool thing. And you don't need the software to do this, by the way. So if I click on videos, and let's get my internet to work. So I click on videos. What's going to show up is here, and it says latest. See the little white button that's highlighted? So those are the latest, most recent videos. So I can see 3 days ago, she posted a video, 12 days, 2 weeks. So she's consistent, number one. But if I click this button, popular, this will show me her most popular videos by views. So what is this? This is a swipe file of videos that are working. And by the way, obviously some of the same video, screenshots here that we have here are the ones I showed you in the use case example for a good reason. Now, this tool vidIQ that I have, right, that I mentioned earlier, you can see the little icon right here. If I click on this, it gives me a couple of different options. But I want you to see this here. See this red, right? And then some are purple and some are blue. Remember I talked about Kyle and I showed like a 9x performance? Well, this is where I get that data from. And this right here in red with this 35x, the 16x, this is the vidIQ tool, the interface, the little software thing that's telling me how this video is performing against her average video. And so what that means, of course, it's ranking it at the top because it's now ranked as most popular because it's outperforming all the other videos. And why is this useful for you? Because when you're looking for video ideas, and I already told you that, by the way, the biggest video creators on YouTube steal each other's ideas. I could show you right now a Mr. Beast video thumbnail that he created that got millions of views that he did not create on his own. It was not his original idea. That he took it from another YouTube channel that had the same exact thumbnail and he only changed it about 10%. Why? Because there is a pattern and there are trends of what's working on YouTube, and the same is true for you in real estate. You're going to find those patterns and trends by following other people, not any agent, but agents actually getting views and getting deals from YouTube. And I've shared with you some of them already in today's presentation. Let me take a pause and see if that was helpful to share with you, if there were any questions about that so far. Are we good?
Good. Thumbs
Good?
up. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, whether you guys use this tool or not, it's up to you. Like I said, there is a free version of it. Now, the other thing that's cool is if I go back to home here, give this a second to load. When you're on other people's channels, not only can you go to popular, right, and see the most popular trending videos, but you'll be able to compare your stats to theirs. Now, see down here in blue, this is me. This is little old me trying to get my YouTube channel going and off the ground, right? And I am, on this journey of like trying to be consistent and putting out content. But this is her. So this is comparing my channel to her channel. Now, it's not a fair comparison because we're in two different businesses, but this would be useful for you when you're as a real estate agent and you go pull her channel up and you've got vidIQ installed, right? This is just another statistic that you can compare, right? Views, subscribers, how many videos were posted, all these different types of things. So I'm sharing this with you because this is the one thing I think when I said earlier about YouTube is it's a different animal. Yeah, you've got to know what's working, right? But there is a science to it, and there are tools that are out there that will tell you what's working. But you've really got to make it like you're going back to school and you're going to study, I don't know, analytics. You're going to become a student of the thing, right? And not just wing it and randomly post stuff, which is why I'm showing you the broad, narrow niche types of content, because it's a great place for you to start. All right. I'm going to go back to my slide deck here. Pick up where we last left off. Back in the presentation mode. Okay. So far, here's what we've talked about. The advantage for YouTube, right? It's the ultimate platform for real estate because your algorithm connects you with buyers, because of the audience that's there, because of the search functionality. We talked about the 3 pillars of building success on YouTube, right? Building the audience, moving the audience into, offline, like email, conversations, etc. And then we talked about some real world case studies. We showed you some of those. Next up, we're going to talk about becoming your digital mayor of your community, and then what a kind of a sketch of a 90-day implementation plan will look like. Okay. There's 3 keys to getting people to watch your video. Anybody guess what they are? It's number 1, the thumbnail. Yes. How many of you already knew it? It's the thumbnail. Thumbnail's the most important thing. It's the thumbnail, title, and description. You must get good at those. Set aside you being on camera for a moment. This is more important than you being on camera. And how, quote, good are you? You don't have to be entertaining or anything like that. That's not the important thing. Remember what I said earlier? The algorithm is, will people click it and watch it? Those are the first 2 things. Click and watch. The first thing that gets them to click is the thumbnail. Powerful visual magnet that grabs attention. You've seen examples already. Next is the title. That's right under the thumbnail, and that's the title. We looked at it. That's the hook, right? Communicating the value and creating curiosity. And then there's the description, which is context and keywords, which again feeds the algorithm and viewers to help you explore your content further. Let's break down thumbnails for a second. Okay. Over on the right here, we have kind of like a thumbnail template, and you can see all the boxes and the arrows. And of course, you've seen this before, right? It's kind of like that dramatic facial expression. The thumbnail should have no more than 2 to 3 words on it. If you're putting more than 2 to 3 words on it, you're confusing. You're like, it's way too much information. And then there's some type of a, compelling image in the background. Now, if you're in real estate, then obviously when appropriate, it makes sense to perhaps feature something about the area you're in the background. I would say go back to the examples of the realtors we shared with you in the slide deck when you get them, and look at how they're doing things with that. And then, there's some consistency here. You noticed in the other channels we showed you, the agent was prominently featured, right, on the thumbnail in a lot of the cases. Doesn't have to be every single video, but remember, they're wanting to build a connection with you, right? And then there's this different color psychology here if you want to break down colors that you use, if you're a brand color and things like that. Again, this is just kind of like a cheat sheet for you on thumbnails. But once again, I said here, right over here, first impression, your thumbnails, your videos cover. It's like the cover of a book, right? And do you judge a book by its cover? Yeah. Are you drawn in by certain book covers? Yes. Same thing. Book titles, same thing. Compelling thumbnail title, right? All matters. Okay. It translates into more views and potential clients. Now let's break this one down from Kyle. Okay. Emotional hooks. Use words like massive, sucks, avoid, explode. Let's go over here to his actual thumbnail. Massive changes coming to Kansas City, the Country Club Plaza. Right? There's Kyle. Yes, he's doing the dramatic thing with the, oh my God, massive changes. There's the big headline right here. It's really just 2 words. And by the way, adding specific numbers when possible draws people in. They're curious. And then leveraging stuff like top 10, best and worst. People like to think in those short snippets, right? Listicle type stuff. The brain, you basically have 3 seconds when somebody sees this to decide, do they want to click on the video or not? That's why you're over amplifying perhaps the, space you have here on the user's either TV, mobile phone, laptop, or whatever it is. That's why this needs to be amplified, is because, on YouTube, right? You're getting all the different thumbnails showing up in that view. So yours has to stand out. Okay. So titles should complement thumbnails, right? $100 million upgrade. Okay. Well, great. I'm going to glance at the thumbnail. I'm going to go, what the hell's that? Boom. And then in like 2 seconds, we're coming to KC, the Country Club, 100 million. I wonder what that is. It's curiosity. Keep your titles under 55 to 65 characters here. Otherwise, you don't want to get truncated and have it be cut off. Once again, I said build curiosity, not clickbait. By the way, a quick note on that. There's a lot of clickbait out there on YouTube. I would say this is that make sure the video delivers on the promise. Because if you have a clickbaity title, and I understand there's a bit of a gray area sometimes, and some of this can look clickbaity, if you will, but if the video delivers on the premise or the promise, you're okay. But if it's like this recession coming, and then you're talking about why there is no recession, well, that's clickbait. Okay. That's just a way you kind of trick people to get in, and use keywords where you can, like Kansas City is a keyword for people searching that area. Okay, so descriptions. Once again, you want to clearly explain your video's content and what value viewers will gain. This is where we're going to talk about AI in a moment, because you can use AI to definitely help you with all this. So I'm going to fast forward through that. Here's the key takeaway when it comes to thumbnails, titles. It's a packaging game. This is what I've been working on. And this is, and again, I'm not going to say this is easy. This is a skill to learn. If you have the budget, a team to outsource it, albeit go ahead, do it. But packaging is important. Is this making sense, by the way, when I say packaging, you know what I mean? Thumbnail, title, that's important. That's your package, okay? And let's briefly talk about becoming your community's digital mayor, because this is what it's really all about. They're looking for you as the source. So you want to have diverse content pillars covering news, events, local lifestyle, and then narrow, right? Remember I said broad, narrow, and niche? We talked about that. Consistency. Big key here. I don't care if it's weekly or bi-weekly, but you got to do it consistently. And it may start off rough in the beginning, but if you expect to succeed on YouTube or any platform for that matter, it's consistency that matters. Versus I'd rather see you post, right, twice a month than 1 week and then not post again for another 5 weeks, or just be erratic and all over the place, because you want to develop that consistency of algorithm signaling that you're there providing content. Okay. And engage with the community, right? When you do get comments, interact, even if they're bad, crappy comments, or just delete them if they're complete trolls or whatnot. But definitely engage with comments, right? You can now host Q&A sessions in YouTube. So you want to perhaps look a little bit deeper into that when you're ready. You don't have to do that starting out until you actually have some type of a right following built, right? Maybe 100, 200 people, something like that. But again, this is another place for you to build community, and then optimize relevant local keywords into your titles and descriptions. You may be wondering, Jeff, that's a lot. How the heck do I do all that? Well, this is where AI comes in. Let's talk about building your 90-day plan. So here's part one. You have to have a strategy. Once again, you can't wing it. There's got to be a strategy and a framework for the content, topics, and production. And this is why I'm showing you what I showed you earlier. You've got to define who you're trying to reach. And your content will, yes, have a broad and narrow, but ultimately, are you first-time homebuyers? Are you relocators? Are you downsizers, right? People looking to downsize and sell. Are you veterans? Are you relocation corporate, right? All those different things. Plan your content pillars. You want to, as we said, develop broad, narrow, and niche video ideas to attract people at different layers. And then you want to optimize and produce those videos, create engaging titles, thumbnails, etc. Begin consistent production of your first 5 to 7 videos. This is, again, over your next, right, 30 to 90 days. Publish your videos on a regular schedule, and then analyze. Look at your performance. Look at your watch time and things like that. Review the analytics. This is not a class today on reviewing analytics. Perhaps we can come back and do a part 2 on looking at your analytics on YouTube. But YouTube is quite intuitive these days in terms of helping you understand which videos are performing or whatnot. So what do you need to start? Well, really simple. You need a big fancy camera called your mobile phone. It's as good as it needs to be. Almost any mobile phone out there should be excellent and good enough quality. The 2 more important things are audio. I'm using this microphone here today because I happen to be a podcaster and it's here. You don't need to use this fancy mic. Just make sure that the audio quality is good. Whether you use a lapel mic, a wireless mic, whatever, make sure the audio and the lighting is good as well. But a simple ring light is fine for that. I have a cheap light back here you can't even see for like $50. Look at this. I just turn it. It lights me up in different ways and all that fun stuff. Use natural light from your room if possible.
Hey, Jeff, can we
go ahead?
Just real quick, going back to the big fancy camera.
Mm-hmm.
Wipe your lens. Make sure it's nice and clean.
Yeah, good tip.
That's a free one there.
I'm habitually wiping my lens on my t-shirt all day. Yep, it's a good habit to be in. Okay, sorry, let me go back. Okay, the core 4 to succeed is consistent posting, track your metrics, key analytics, such as how many views, watch time. Watch time is the big one, by the way. You know, that's what it's all about is can you keep people on? Like your average video depends on how long your video is, but the key is how long do they stay and watch. And by the way, don't be overly critical of yourself. You will get better at this. Leverage tools. I mentioned to you vidIQ today. There's also another one called TubeBuddy. These will help you do optimal keyword research and optimize your video titles and descriptions and things like that. They both have free versions. And then most importantly, integrate a lead follow-up system. I said this earlier. You want to convert your video viewers into ready to buy clients. So how many people here have a newsletter? If you don't, you may want to consider it. Do you have a reason for people to get on your email list? Do you have another place for people to follow you? Do you have a link to a calendar, by the way, for booking? When you go in and follow those real estate agents I showed you, and you'll go open up the video for description. I'm going to stop share here real quick and share again. Okay, let me get out of this. Let's go back to YouTube. This is where your research comes in. Okay, so we're back on her channel, right? Now, right here, moving to Raleigh, let's connect. If I open this up, your description for your channel. So this is a channel description, not a video description, right? I'm going to show you her video in a second. But this stays in place. This is a channel description. This is one of the places people will go to learn more about you and connect with you. This is a calendar link. This is her phone number saying you can text me. This is her email. That is how leads connect with you. If you're not putting them on some type of a lead magnet or newsletter, you need to give them a mechanism to connect and your other social profiles here. Remember the hummingbird? The hummingbird will go buzz around to these other channels. Okay. Now, I promised you I'd look at a video description. Let's just click one right here. What's that, Tim? You guys have newsletter templates?
That we do on rockuniversity.com. Just sign up to be a VIP member, no cost. And there's a plethora of resources that we provide for you, not only newsletters, but social media posts as well.
Okay. We'll get with Tim to learn more about those newsletters. Again, because it's just another mechanism to take people off of the right platform you don't own and put them on a platform you do, like your email. Okay. And sorry, this is taking a moment to load here. I'm in Wi-Fi purgatory. Come on, baby. Let me just open it up right here. I don't need to see the video, actually. Okay, so right below the video is the description.
Every homeowner is hyped about the 400,000.
Sorry, that was blasting in my ear. Okay, so here's the video. In this video, I'm telling everything this is just one random video I picked, okay? Everything agents won't tell you about living in Research Triangle Park in 2025. Don't stress, blah, 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 blah. She puts a link for school rankings. She puts timestamps to the video in here. And by the way, that happens automatically for you when you upload your videos to YouTube. There's something called chapters. It'll automatically do that. And then are you thinking about moving? Look at, she says, subscribe here. And then once again, you put your contact information in every YouTube video description. Okay. Reach out whenever you want, company name and her license info. So borrow this, right? Swipe and deploy this. But in a moment, I'm going to share something with you. AI related that'll make your life even easier. Okay. Let's go back here. I appreciate you guys hanging out this long. I know it gets a little bit heavy sometimes with this content, but I want you to stick around because here's the best part. So far, by the way, what is your key takeaway so far from what we've covered? Something you've learned you didn't know before, something you think you can use in your business. What would that be?
I personally love the vidIQ component. It's free and invaluable.
It's a free version for sure. Again, you've got to learn and understand the craft, right? This is a new craft for you. One last chance for key takeaways. Anybody? Bueller? Have, use, learn, and work YouTube. All right. Broad, narrow niche, upside down triangle. Yes. It's funny. I said that the other day, Annette, and then somebody turned to me. He goes, "You mean a funnel?" I'm like, oh, yeah. All right. So we got a bonus for you because this is how Rock Title rolls. By the way, we love Rock Title. So when you think about your next title deal, please remember to write in Rock Title on the deal. Reach out to Tim afterwards and let him know if you like today's class. One of the things you're going to be getting because you are here through Rock Title is a custom GPT YouTube coach. Whoa. Has anybody used a custom GPT before? Have you used GPT? Everybody on this call. Okay, good. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to do you solid on this. This is going to shorten your learning curve. So this is something that I built. Took all the information that I got from Andrew, that person I mentioned at the beginning. I took information from Kyle's website. I uploaded some books and some PDFs all about, YouTube and optimization. And so this is a custom GPT that's purpose built on best practices for YouTube. That's what a custom GPT is. It's purpose built for an outcome. So you will get a link to this in a moment, and you will be able to start this conversation with this custom GPT. And let's just see here. How about this one right here? That seems to be where most people are at. Ready to start your first video? I'll guide you step by step. You click on one of those built-in prompts, and it says, I will walk you through the perfect video recipe of big idea, hook, content, transition. Okay. So let's just see here. Your big idea includes topic, title, thumbnail. This is how you earn the click. Let's start here. Choose from one of the 100 real estate YouTube video ideas. Top 5 pros and cons. Make it clear. Don't move to thumbnail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Okay, great. So now watch this. You could type this in. I'm now using my microphone, and I'm going to say, let me just see here, see if the audio is coming through. Check, 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 check. Okay. So I'm a real estate agent in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I want to take all the steps here that you've outlined and use best practices for big idea, hook, content, and transition. And I want to reach a broad audience, and I want help with you mapping out my big idea, my hook, my description, and a transition CTA to the next step for people who are considering moving to Las Vegas. Help me with that. Let me know if you have any questions before you begin. Okay, so you could type that in, or you could use the dictation tool right there, which connects to your microphone. You could also do this on your mobile phone. Okay, so I just submitted that. And now it's got my big idea for my video. Okay, don't move to Las Vegas until you see this. Sounds familiar, right? Thumbnail, move or regret. Visuals, split screen, left side, a sunny skyline with a happy couple. Now, by the way, you might be asking, how do you create thumbnails? I will tell you, it's very, very important. And so one of the default ways people create thumbnails is Canva. Anybody here a Canva user? So Canva has a bunch of templates. Show of hands or yes in the chat if you are. I'm going to show you Canva rocks. That's right, Ken. Okay, so watch this real quick. This is, by the way, the easiest way to get started. I don't even know how much Canva is. I've had it for so many years. There might be a free version that allows you to do this as well. Maybe you have a team and a designer who can do this for you. But look I clicked on templates here, right? And so all I need to do is type in YouTube. And all right, I'll tell it. There it is right there. YouTube thumbnail. Now you're going to want to come up with a kind of your own branding style and everything, things like that. But the point being is these images that are editable are all easy for you to change and put your photo on and put your title to. So what you'd want to do is decide what's the look and feel that you're going for. And then you can use this to get started, right? And use this as your baseline, for instance, starting out. Like maybe, I don't know, this one right here, okay? And then there's a bunch of others when I click that. So if I don't like that one, I can choose one of these others. But the point being is like you click this and then you click customize this template. It's free or $15 a month. There you go, Ken. You probably can create your thumbnails starting out here just for free. And so, right, I would take this and I'd edit it and I would you're going to need to spend some time doing this. Sorry to tell you that. But if there's anything I would be spending time on, it would be the thumbnail, for sure, the thumbnail, and the title of the video. And by the way, the best YouTubers, they start with the big idea, right? Remember I talked about packaging? And so they start with the big idea, which go back here before they even create the video. So one of the secret hacks, I guess, I've been learning and you could do is come out with your content ideas for your videos, the next 4 or 5 videos you're going to do, map that out in advance what the big idea is, what the topic is, and then the title is. And then we can get to scripting and stuff in a moment. Because that will then determine the packaging. Okay? You don't want to do like video and now let me figure out some packaging. The way the best do it, I'm telling you from the hours I've spent, is they come up with the idea first. Will this show up good on YouTube? That's why when you go to these types of channels with these people right here, there are these kind of big ideas. I'm trying to get back to our main channel here. And if I go videos, okay. So if you think about this, it takes some advanced thinking and planning. I go to videos, click on popular. Now you're going to notice these thumbnails. How many of you can tell already these thumbnails take a little bit of work for them to look like this? Okay. But what you can do is borrow the examples from this, and Canva has pretty much all the different background images or things that you want to grab. You can also upload images to Canva if you have like a picture of your city or your town or whatever. Like this one right here, clearly that's a screenshot of somewhere she got off the internet, probably for Casey, I'm guessing, or Raleigh. All this kind of stuff like that right there. Or you could use AI. Now, let me go back to our ChatGPT right here and watch this. Where was the thumbnail? Visuals, split screen, sunny skyline. Have it come on. Okay. Let me try this, but let me give it a little customization. Customize for the Las Vegas city. What do you call it? Cityscape, skyline, whatever. All right. Oops. You know what I wanted to do? Sorry. I wanted to create an image. I'll see I'm much better at talking. All right. Now, by the way, when you guys start using this dictation thing, you're going to never go back to typing. Okay. So now I'd like you to create my thumbnail design using the big idea of move or regret and using the description we have here in the image of a clear, bright photo of Las Vegas, taken from a distance, the overlay, right side negative. Do not put the text overlay. Just create the skyline image. All right, again, I'm just being brief with it here for sake of time. We're already at the top of the hour. I'm pushing it right now to see to what degree it can create an image for me right here. Give this a minute to process. But anyway, is anybody thrilled and excited to start testing out this custom GPT for yourselves? Okay, cool. I'm going to give it to you in the chat here in just a second. We're going to close out on this in a moment with how did this image produce as compared to going into Canva and, going down the rabbit hole with creating this. By the way, Canva has its own AI right here as well. We're in this stage right here where if you don't have the team, or by the way, you can outsource this to a VA and things like that. But if it's going to be you starting out, unfortunately, you're going to have to be the person putting in the time. Now, by the way, let me just do this. While it's doing this, I don't think I can give it a second prompt. It's really thinking hard here. I'm going to try an experiment real quick. I'm going to try and take this. It's not technically a prompt, but I'm going to try and take that from ChatGPT. And I just want to make sure it specifically knows what it is. YouTube thumbnail. Create an image. Style 16:9. Yep, that's what I want. Style is, I want cinematic. All right, let's see how Canva does with the same prompt. Let me go back here. If you guys got to jump, you can jump. Otherwise, I apologize. This is taking a little bit longer. It is likely my Wi-Fi today.
It's because, Jeff, we're neighbors and I'm stealing all your bandwidth, I think. Sorry.
You are. Geez, come on. Get off of that streaming, will you? All right, let's go back to Canva. That was the wrong. Close this tab. Meanwhile, oh, here we go. All right, so look at that. Canva already produced some of this stuff right here. Let me see if there's one I like. I can ask it to do additional versions of this, but I like that. for the move. I'm looking for the regret, and I don't think it really delivered on the regret yet. Come on, GPT. Don't embarrass me, GPT. Let's go. I'm going to hit refresh on that. Anyway, you guys get the sense of where we can go here, right? All this customization that you can do. I'm going to close out, get back into my slides, and make sure that we get you the custom GPT that you need for this thing. Put this in the chat right now. And then we can wrap up, set you back on your day. Okay. The link to the Tube Agent Pro is in there. Have fun, start using that. And I think, why don't we make that officially the end? I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you found something valuable here. I'll stay around for a couple extra minutes if y'all wanted to. But Tim, I'll officially turn it back over to you.
Oh man, I appreciate you so much. You always have great content and a pleasure to work with for sure. And I hope everybody that has joined us today has taken away something. I mean, how could you not, right? So again, appreciate you, Jeff. And as always, if you found value in our presentation today and you're not using Rock Title, got a frog in my throat, excuse me, we'd absolutely love the opportunity to earn a portion of your business. So write us in on your next transaction, and don't use my name. That's way above my pay grade. But if you don't know who to write in, I can certainly help with that. But we appreciate you hanging out. Jeff and I, we have so much more coming down the pike. I think we're talking about Google My Profile next month, and a lot of great things to come.
We appreciate it, guys. Get out there and learn YouTube, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Be safe out there.